Hi guys and girls, welcome back to Watch the Time. So I'm pleased to bring you another one of the Pagani designs that featured on my top 5 AliExpress anniversary sale video. Now I said it. So yeah, this is their Tudor Black Bay Chronograph Homage that they brought out. Really like the look of this one. It was one that burst onto the scene on AliExpress, and I really liked what I was seeing in terms of the visuals, the finishing, and it's got a Meca-quartz movement again. Some do complain that they're not using sort of like a seagull ST movement, but I mean the prices on this are so affordable, you can't really expect a mechanical movement in my opinion. I think it's a bit unrealistic, and the fact you're getting a reputable movement by Seiko in it, I think is a good compromise. I think it gives you a nice sweep on the second hand and all that stuff. But yeah, one that again Pagani have gone hard and fast with some of the new ones they're bringing out. They're really trying to give it a good kick on. And I do think 2022 could be a transformation for them. Will it come to fruition? Let's see. Or are they going to falter to deceive? But like I always say, by the end of this video, hopefully you'll know if there's a bit of you. If not, I'm sure there'll be other stuff coming in. But I really appreciate all the support and for you tuning back in. And without further ado, let's get the camera turned around and get on with it. Alright guys, so this is the watch. As I said in the intro, it's the Tudor Black Bay Homage chronograph from Pagani Design. Different packaging actually, which was a bit of a surprise. Nice blue box, no sleeve that flaps down, just separates like that. A bit of foam inside again, cleaning cloth. It does have the instruction manual warranty card at the side, and I have also taken out 4 links for it to fit my wrist, and actually quite substantial links. A little bit difficult sometimes with the tolerances in terms of how they fit together, but yeah, nicely done. 4 links taken out. And then what you get is really the rest of the packaging is what you normally get, aside from the fact the outer part looks different, and that's what you're left with. So I went for the reverse panda. I've got loads of different variations at this point. I'm not taking off the stickers, nor have I attempted to, just because they do tend to be a pain. Now I've just given up to be honest. I will end up probably flipping this watch to fund other watches, so the person that buys it, they'll have the joy of taking them off. But yeah, the model number for this is the PD-1718. It's a quartz movement inside. It's a VK64. I'll bring some information up about that now. Nice Meca-quartz movement. Yeah, I don't mind the Meca-quartz movements, especially on watches as affordable as what Pagani Design sometimes offer. Not all of their watches are as affordable, but this one, given what you're getting, I think could be quite unrealistic to expect an automatic or mechanical movement. So yeah, I think this is a good compromise, and there's a couple of things I like. I mentioned earlier, I do like the fact there's no second hand, just because you can't even really tell that it's not a mechanical movement, to be honest. I think that's pretty cool, and when you use the chronograph function, the fact it sweeps again is pretty cool. So yeah, VK64 movement. The whole construction of this watch is stainless steel, so that's the case, bezel aside from the insert, the crown and pushers, the case back, solid end links, bracelet and clasp, but all 316L stainless steel. The case thickness of this watch is 12.8mm. The case diameter, when you measure at the shortest point, just in between the pusher and the crown and the other side of the case, it was coming in at 39.5mm. And when you go from the 9 to the 3, including the crown, that'd be very similar with the pushers. It was coming in at 43mm. The lug width on this is 20mm. That does taper down to 18, back up to 20 at the clasp, and the lug to lug, tip to tip, given the fact it's got female end links at the center link, is 48.1mm. The case back is actually quite nice. I'll try and get it around the right way so you can have a little read of it. Yeah, it looks pretty cool. It's nice that they're starting to put different case backs on different watches rather than the same obligatory case back. I think that's quite nice. Give it a bit of its own identity, if you like. The bezel is ceramic, and it's a fixed tachymeter bezel. Put my teeth back in, and the crown is situated at the 3 o'clock. It is screwed down, and you've got pushes at the 2 and 4 just to operate the chronograph function on this, which I'll show you in a moment when we look at the dial. The bracelet is actually really nice. As I said, it tapers from 20 to 18, all brushed on the side, all brushed on the tops. Quite nice longitudinal brushing, almost satiny, very nicely done. Polished at the sides. They got rivets but it's only rivet style. Once you get to the screws, it's just a normal screw, but they have put rivets on the other side just so it looks like a riveted bracelet. The clasp is signed Pagani Design on there. It does have 3 levels of micro adjustment, as you'll see, and it has got the diver's extension, which they put on all their watches at the moment. I don't think it really needs it on this one, but they've got it anyway. Fully milled, clips in nicely, double safety pushers, one each side, and that's how you operate that. The crystal covering the dial is quite a bit of pronounced sapphire crystal, almost sort of boxed dome sapphire crystal on there. Looks very, very nice. And the water resistance to this watch is cited as being 100 meters. You'll make that on the dial, but I would say from many of the watches on AliExpress, they don't tend to be certified. So as much as it says it gives you 100 meters, that'd be 10 atmospheres. It won't be certified, just so you know. And the weight will appear in the top right hand corner. It's in and around 146.5 grams, or 4 links taken out, so that'll probably take you up to 160 odd grams with all the links in still in the bracelet. But let's have a look at the dial now, guys. Let me just give it a wipe in a bit more detail. So what you have is you've got a minute track going around the outer edge. Let me just take the crown out very quickly. Let me put it to the 20 past 8 position. Unfortunately, there is a ghost position, but that's by the by. Put it to 20 past 8 roughly, and I'll leave the crown unscrewed. So yeah, minute track going around the outer edge. You've got applied indices everywhere except for the 3 and 9 o'clock position, making way for the sub dials. You've got circular battens everywhere except for the 12 and 6. Well, let me just start the chronograph so you can have a look. At the 12, you've got an inverted triangle. At the 6, you've got a rectangular batten. They're all fully loomed, as are the hands, and I'll bring that up now just to give you an idea of what the loom's like. I thought the loom on this was actually pretty reasonable. It's not a dive watch, but I think even when I was coming inside from being outside with a bit of sunlight, you could see the green loom. So the loom was pretty decent on this watch. Just below the inverted triangle at the 12, you've got Pagani Design printed onto the dial, and just above the indices at the 6 o'clock, you've got UGS. I'm not sure what that means. Answers on a postcard. Water resistant, 100 meters, 330 feet. So yeah, there's a chronograph function also going around. So the sub dial at the 3 o'clock is for the 24-hour time. So that's telling you at the moment it'll be 20 past 8 in the evening. The sub dial at 9 o'clock, excuse me, all that will do now, you'll see it sort of click up one. It's just going to count the minutes for the chronograph. So the second hand will keep going round, and what you'll get, it will just keep counting up. So it'll keep count of how many minutes you've been timing or whatever you've been doing. I like the fact that you've got a red tip on the second hand and UGS in red, just for a little bit of contrast. Otherwise, a lot of it's sort of very black and white and silvery. Having a little bit of colour is quite nice, offers a bit of a contrast. But yeah, that's the dial, guys. That's the loom. That's the functionality. As I said, if I take the thing out, you won't see it because there's no second hand, but it would have hacked. And if you take it to the first position, unfortunately there is a ghost position, so you'll hear there the dates that you can't see. So it is what it is. But like I say, take it out, would have hacked. And if you now, I'll let it do one more as it goes past the 12, and then I'll press this. The pusher at the 2 o'clock will start and stop the chronograph second hand, and after I press that, I'll touch the one at the 4 o'clock just so it reset. So as you can see now, I'll go past and then reset them both. They both go back very, very quickly. But yeah, that's the dial, guys. That's the chronograph function. They screw down nicely. No issues with the knurling on the pushers or on the crown. Although sometimes the crown's been a little bit fiddly. As you can see now, the crown actually, let's see if I can get it to engage. Nah, it's been a bit of a, I've had this with a few of Pagani Design's watches at this point, but there we finally got it. And as I say, the pushers have been fine. The crown's been a bit fiddly, but let me just pop it on the wrist now, guys. Give you an idea of what it looks like on my wrist. My wrist is just above a 7-inch wrist. For your reference, you'd have seen I've taken 4 links out for it to fit me, and that's what it looks like on my wrist. You'd have also seen it in daytime conditions at the start, along with just a few macro shots, just to give you an idea of what the watch looks like. But yeah, very, very nice offering actually from Pagani Design. But that will now take me on to what I think is pants and pucker about the watch. If you've ever watched before, you'll know I always start with pants. I like to go on a high with pucker. So what I think is pants is the bezel alignment. It's a fixed bezel, but at the 12 o'clock it doesn't look too bad. At the 6 o'clock it's a bit off to the left. I don't know why this happens. I've got to say, with fixed bezels, maybe it's a bit subtle on the camera, but it's definitely off. I don't know why that happens, to be honest. I don't know why it ends up being off. It should be pretty straightforward. The link fitment, as I said earlier, with the links you saw, I'd already removed that. That's not ideal. It's very stiff. The rest of it's free flowing, but at certain points it doesn't fit very well. As also mentioned, the crown engagement, a bit of a nightmare sometimes to put it back in. Taking it out is fine, it's got a good pop, but to put it back on, it is a bit of a nightmare, to be honest. Pusher's not so bad, but the crown engagement probably could be done better. And just the diver's extension, I think they could get rid of that. I know it's something they put on every watch, but they could change the end there and just take it out. I don't think this watch needs it. Maybe if they got sort of a dive style watch, then fine, but I would take it off. Subjective, I know, but I'm not really feeling it, to be honest. I would just take it off. But they're the 4 things that I think are pants. So just to summarize, I'd go with the bezel alignment, the link fitment, the crown engagement, and the diver's extension of what I think are pants. What I think is Pukka. Oh, I managed to take one of the things off without even realizing. That's perfect. Yeah, what I think is Pukka is, I'd go with the sapphire crystal. I'd go with the dial in terms of how it looks. I like the dial. The hands and indices, I think they're finished really nicely. The loom, which you'd have seen earlier, I think is pretty decent. I like the movement. I do like a Meca-quartz, given and also the price point. I do think it's unrealistic that we could expect to have an automatic or mechanical, so a Meca-quartz is good. And just the fit and finish in terms of the brushing and the polishing. I know the links are a bit of a problem, but generally this watch is a very decent offering from Pagani Design. You would see that from the amount of things that are in my Pukka section. So just to surmise what I think is Pukka, as I go with the sapphire crystal, the dial, the hands and indices, the loom, the movement. I like the fact there's no second hand, I've also mentioned as well, and the fit and finish are what I think is Pukka. And would I recommend this watch? I definitely would. I think this is definitely a watch from Pagani Design that is worth your consideration. I think it's a really nice watch. Not perfect, but definitely a step in the right direction. So yeah, I'd recommend this watch. But guys and girls, let me know what you think about this watch, and maybe any other watches you may want to see on the channel. And as always say, don't forget to like and subscribe, and always watch your time. Take care guys, all the very best.